friend. City's awake. I almost didn't make it on this morning. Humidity is out of control. And I was like, this sucks. I don't want to be out here. And then I looked at the weather for the rest of the weekend, and it's only getting worse. So I decided I had to be out here because there's a chance I won't be on the rest of the weekend, depending on what it looks like. I think I'm all set up. Oh, hey. Hi, bud. Yeah, I don't mind the heat. Turns out I don't like the humidity. I noticed about myself, literally. I really didn't. I didn't think humidity bothered me. I don't know if it bothers me now and it didn't used to before, or if the humidity is just more significant. But it's the humidity that's getting me, not the heat. Today is actually cooler than it was yesterday here, but the humidity is higher. It was 70% humidity yesterday, and it's 82% humidity today. It was actually supposed to be raining earlier. And I looked it up, and it was like only getting worse until Tuesday or so. So I'm out here today just in case I don't make it out here again until Tuesday. However, I got so much editing done on the video yesterday. I'm going to do it again today. I'm so happy. It's been a labor of love. It's taking so much longer than I expected. I don't even know why I grabbed coffee. I can't drink that right now. Another coloring book that I thought about sidestepping into. I have no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing now. Actually, I'll show you this. This is the page I started at a concert the other day. It's cute, huh? I have so many half-finished pieces of paper. I feel like I didn't catch up on anything in terms of UAP news, consciousness news, anything like that that happened yesterday. I missed all of it because I had my head down. Editing, which is good. Do I even want to finish this page? Oh my god. I'm the worst. Is this ADD or is this just like me? Cute it is. Thanks, Andy. I don't know where I even got this comic book. I've had it for so long. This one could be cute. Maybe. I started on this book before I had these markers, and I have all of these half-done pages because that's apparently just how I color. Hey Enrique, yeah, he's the best. No children, so he's spoiled. Aren't you, bud? You gonna go back inside? Oh, okay. Hey Mojo, yeah, actually we were talking about that. Once it gets too cold to be out here, I think that's what's gonna happen inside in these morning sessions. I have a friend who's an ambient musician and has given me access to his catalog. He's amazing. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's Zake, but with the tilde, or I don't know what it is. Americans don't use it, and our education system sucks in those words. But his name is actually Zach Frizzell, and he has a record label called Past Inside the Present that is beautiful kind of ambient music, if you are into that. Yeah, it is very peaceful. The idea is that you guys can listen to the birds when I'm not chatting. Some of these pages are they've got so many like fine details. I don't think my markers are fine enough. Hi Mario, good morning, how are you? So many pages to choose from. My God. It's okay, Gert. If it's not your vibe, you can move along. I think you're the first person that's ever had a bad vibe about this. Okay, decisions must be made at the end. All right. Just hit. Where did that picture go? You did read the document? Andy, tell me everything. Thank you for kicking this off. I don't have anything to contribute this morning. What did it say? For anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Andy just said that he read the SOM 101 documents, which has to do with the Majestic 12 documents. He's more well-versed than I am in it, so I'm not going to say too much till he gives us more info, because I haven't read it, but that's what we were talking about. Is this the picture I was thinking of? Now I don't like it. This one? Just feeling very indecisive apparently. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Deborado. What a name. Hi, how are you? Good morning. I am married. Okay, it details how alien tech and bodies are to be collected. So it's like a recovery SOP. That's like the extent, I guess. I mean, interesting. Is there any, Andy, is there any contesting of this document? Like, is there any argument that, like, this isn't real still? Or is this still one of the ones that are up for debate? Or is this, like, there's no argument? You know what I mean? Nice. Oh, I saw the word Gomez and then it disappeared. I'm not sure what you changed your mind on saying, friend, but you missed it. It's exciting, Andy. Is it a long document? I'm glad you read it. I'm kind of like burying my head in the sand outside of these lives and working until I get the next video done. Okay, 30 pages isn't bad at all. Exciting. I'm so glad you read it. Are you ready to go in bed? I still want to watch Above Majestic too. Supposed to go out on a boat tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in this humidity. I mean, maybe it'll be fine because it's a boat. Just get in the water, but like, funny. Saw another YouTuber that, honestly, I'm not crazy about her stuff, but for some reason I keep watching it. I'm not sure. But she colored for the first time throughout her video like 2 days ago, and it made me giggle. So I was like, hey, that's what I do. But she wasn't live. She was like doing recorded content, which I guess I could do if I can get myself to go off script. That's the goal after I get through the telepathy tapes stuff, is to get to a point where I'm not writing every single word. Not that I end up saying every word. I usually don't, but I don't know. I like to get to a point where I can just have notes and then sit down and chat with you guys instead of like a full scripted video. So hopefully on the first one out of the gate after the telepathy tapes. How to set up a crash site, deal with witnesses, the press, where to, okay, so it literally says everything, Andy. It's like, hey, an alien crashed in the backyard. Here, it's an SOP. It really is. It's a, here are all of the steps on what to do. Wow. That's like the type of stuff that's not supposed to get out for sure, because even in regular corporate America, SOPs aren't supposed to like leave the building, right? We aren't supposed to tell everybody the ways in which you do things in just corporate America type BS. So like, I feel like this is definitely not what they wanted to get out. Andy, does it seem reminiscent, like as you were reading it, were you having flashes of like, oh yeah, that's exactly what they did with Roswell, that's what they did with, you know, XYZ? Was there any of that where you were like, oh yeah, I see how this has been used? Yeah. Wow, how cool. I mean, I don't know if cool is the word, but you know what I mean. How interesting. That's very interesting. Do you know how these documents came out, Andy? Like, were they leaked? Or was it like it wasn't a FOIA thing, because then there wouldn't be any argument, right? Do you know the source of where they leaked from by chance? Sorry, I'm just like badgering you with all the questions today. No. How does this happen? call or a Friday. Photo of it sent to someone. Anonymously sent to him, I'm assuming? It's so wild to think about. It's interesting. I've known a few people that have had some level of security clearance, like governmental security clearance. I guess 2 people. And both of them do not fuck around. Like, I got nothing. I have nothing. I have known one of these people since the 4th grade, and he won't tell me anything. I can't get anything. I barely know what he does for work. The other one works security for the president, any president that we have, but does like some sort of satellite surveillance that keeps an eye on the president. It's very weird, but that's like all I know, and she won't tell me anything else. It's very interesting. Oh, hey, bud. Back again? Yeah, Anon. Because like that, well, and that's why I bring it up, because like those 2, I don't think they know jack about jack. Like, I mean, that's not true at all. I think they know a lot about a lot, but I don't think they know anything about UAP. Like, that's not their repertoire or their world of work. But they wouldn't tell me at all. Actually, one of them, there is a chance that he could know something, but ironclad, I'm never going to get it out of him. And it's like, honestly, it's extremely honorable in that sense of me knowing that, like, yeah, that they are both, they take their clearance very seriously, but it just makes me think of that, like, when things slip and come out, like, who's doing that, why are they doing it, is it consciousness that's like, or like a sense of duty to actual Americans or to the world of saying like we need to know this stuff, or is it something else? It's just really interesting to think about. I love that you just have a puppy booty and that's all you get is the booty. I usually go through and hunt colors that I know I need or that I want to use, and I like use them in as many places as I can find, as opposed to like color in this section. I don't know if everyone does that, but I'm learning this about myself. To keep my necklace from dripping on the page as it's sweating. Hey Trey, I'm well, how are you? Chat's pretty quiet today. Just kind of chilling. Trey, what happened yesterday? I have had my head on the ground. Also, I don't know if I want to know, but go ahead. Oh my goodness. Just a moment. Ooh, you're in the sun. Okay, right back. Trey, are you leaving us hanging like this? 15. I have never heard that before. My mother would probably love that description for me. I don't know what you consider so young, but thank you. God, this humidity is oppressive. Hey, Crystal. How are you? Good morning. Or afternoon, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Happy morning, 9:25. Nice. Oh, another legend. Are you talking about Hulk Hogan? Can I tell you a really funny story, you guys? I mean this with my full chest. When I was really little, like really little, I thought that my dad moonlit as Hulk Hogan. Like when I was like 5 years old, I sincerely thought my dad was Hulk Hogan when I wasn't looking. Like I thought he was dad at home. He was like Superman. And I was convinced, I'm pretty sure, I was convinced of this for like a solid 2 years. I don't remember a bunch of my childhood, but I do remember this. Always thinking that my dad was secretly Hulk Hogan until I was old enough to realize they were not the same person. Is that not so funny? It gives you an idea of what my dad looks like. It's so funny to me. Actually, I should have texted my dad yesterday when he passed because of that. Because he knows, I mean, he thought it was the funniest thing in the world that I thought he was Hulk Hogan. You ready to go in, bud? Okay, just a sec. Let me finish this color. Hold on. Isn't it something like as a kid, the imagination that you get? Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I really did. I was convinced, you couldn't tell me otherwise, that my dad wasn't secretly Hulk Hogan. Yeah, it is a nice necklace. It is hot and humid out here, and this is like, I need them to sponsor me, whoever makes these things. I live in this in the summer. Probably not a good thing. Like, it's probably dysregulating my system. But I like to be outside as much as possible, and when it's like really crazy, this is one of the only ways I can do it. Also, the dog loves it. He gets one all the time. Yeah, honestly, David, so I got this off Amazon. It wasn't too expensive. I bought a 3-pack of them. I know, Trey, that's literally what we were just talking about. And they last anywhere between, like, if it is awful, 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 it'll last 30 minutes, maybe. If it's just hot, but it's not like 100 degrees and blah, 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 it can last up to 2 hours. So it kind of depends on what the temperature is, but I just swap them in and out. So like I said, I have 3, one for everyone in the house, but during the day, if I'm out here and I'm the only one using them, I just swap them in and out. Like when one gets warm, I swap the other one. It has made such a big difference for me. I've bought them for a girlfriend and sent them to her. I keep yelling at my dad to get them because I think he would love it. I mean, watch me do all this and it, like, I don't know, does something weird, but I really enjoy it. I also think it helps with anxiety because there's something about the cooling sensation on the back of the neck when you're feeling anxious um, that I find really brings me some calm. So personally, I'm a huge cheerleader for these things. Are you a big wrestling fan, Trey? Like a big, yada yada? You know, David, they have those weird fan ones. They're not air conditioners, I don't think. I don't think they do any sort of cooling, but they have like weird fan necklaces. I've seen them. I've never used one, but yeah, you are, Trey. I'm sorry for your loss. I don't know how old he was, but it seems like he had a full life. So. Still wild to me that I thought it was my dad. My dad looks like a cross between Hulk Hogan and John Boyd, the actor, Angelina Jolie's dad. He looks actually a lot like John Boyd, but younger. And when he was in his like 30s, he looked like Hulk Hogan. 71. Yeah, that's all you can ask for, David, right? I mean, death is only hard for the living, in my opinion. And if the person going out has lived a fulfilling life, however long it is, then I hope they're satisfied with their life at the end of times, right? That's like all we want. Trey, I have never heard of that person. But I'm very happy for you. He sounds like a treat. Sergeant Slaughter? Gonna get me demonetized just for talking about these people. Alright, what color next? Let's switch things up a little. Which one? EG5, EG3. Yeah, I assumed it was another wrestler. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, oh, okay. Did he look like the A-Team? I know who that is. I feel like they dress like G.I. Joes. Definitely not that one. G3 it is. '71 does seem young though. 71 seems very young. It's interesting how the older you get, the younger everything seems. I guess it's not always the case. We've talked about that before. I do think that your environment makes a difference, right? My mom always says that I'm younger than my younger siblings, just based on who I am, which is why I laughed at that 50 teen comment. My mom is going to love that. That is exactly how she would describe me. Except in the opposite of being young but mature, she would say that I'm old, but I'm young at heart, not immature. I know she would never say that, but she would say I'm old but so young in energy and personality and engagement, as opposed to the other way around, now that I'm thinking about it. Because you said I seemed young, or that I was young but seemed mature, as opposed to old but seeming young. Thanks, David. Yeah, well, you guys can't see everything. Of course, there's lawn care now. You can't see everything, but right over on this side, I actually have a sunbed that is big enough for me or the dog. We can't both fit on it, but I have like a little thing right here on this side. I mean, I would totally put a hammock up, but there's another deck chair. I wish I could like show you guys everything, but I am surrounded by plants. Like, there's plants, obviously the ones that you can see, but there's plants all over here, up there, down here, and I've got plants on his deck, even though I don't live there, because he's got the best sun. Andy knows I'm a better dog mom than I am a plant mom, but I'm working on it. I've got a million plants inside. If you ever watch my long form videos in my studio, you'll see like I'm in a jungle when I'm recording. Yeah, I love it out here. I wish, like, if I was being greedy, because I'm already, like, I'm so lucky with this apartment. It's definitely the best apartment I've had in the city. But if I was being greedy, I would love to have this space, but I'd also like to have something on the other end of the apartment that's street facing so that I could people watch too, because of like where the sun sets and where things go. So like in the morning, the sun's behind me here, but in the evening out on the other end, it would be lovely. My office is in the sun, like the studio, and that's great. And it's beautiful sun in the rest of the house, but in terms of outdoor space, the dream would be to have an outdoor space on both the east and the west sides. However, I'm like surrounded by so much nature actually for being in the city that I can just walk out my front door. It'd be fun. I don't need to be greedy about how lucky I am with this porch. It's funny, when I first saw this apartment, I actually didn't think I wanted to live here, and I'm so glad that I didn't listen to that first thought. That's not offensive at all. If I could have retired last year, I would have been so happy. That's so funny. Well, when my mom says I'm younger, not that I look old either. She thinks that I look younger than my younger siblings too. And that's why we always talk about it, because I have a theory that it has to do with life and our environments, right? I'm a city girl. I have been a city girl for 20 years. But my siblings are not. They are 7 years younger than me. My brother lives in a small town. My sister is married to a Marine, so she travels, but she has 3 kids. And my mother says that they both look older than me and seem older than me in terms of energy and all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's a mix of having kids and like where they're at. I have, thankfully, I knock on wood like it's a choice, or like it's not a choice. I've never done anything. I've never had Botox, I've never had fillers, I've never done anything like that. I don't know if I ever will, but I never have yet. And I'm very grateful. All I can think is that because I don't have kids, I'm not stressed. Or like as stressed. I don't know. I do. Yeah, that's the whole reason I'm out here. I get anxiety and depression like a lot of people, and I used to have really bad anxiety, and I'm prone to panic attacks. And so a very big part of my life in general is cultivating peace and calm to try and like mitigate that natural anxiety that I have. That's why I do this, because I love being out here and listening to the birds and listening to the day get started and talking with you guys. It really makes such a huge difference. And yeah, so I do. I very much try to live a stress-free life. I don't do drama. Like, I really don't. None of my friends are dramatic. I am, thankfully, don't have to date, so I don't have to worry about that kind of drama. Yeah, I definitely try to live as stress-free as possible, because also I want to enjoy the ride, right? Like, world's burning down, but I'm here, so like I'm gonna try my best to cultivate peace and enjoy the experience of being human, despite the suffering that we all experience, as much as possible, you know? I know, that's what I mean, yeah. Like, yeah, I'm echoing you. It's exactly what you said. I don't know if I'm delayed, but I was responding to that. I do. It's funny because, like, when I talk to people, like my extended family and stuff, they think that city living is hard. It would wear on you. They're like, oh, but crime and violence and noise and people and litter and all of these things, like, that's got to be hard living versus in, you know, the lives that they live. And it's not that those things aren't there, but there's something about the energy of, like, a city that just, like, cities just keep going. There's always something to do. There's places to go, people to see, events to watch, like, places I've never been to. And I'm very lucky that I have a group of friends now that I haven't had friends like this since I was a kid, that are this close, and they all like to do stuff. And I swear that makes such a difference. Like, there are times when I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I'm fucking tired. I'm actually an introvert. Like, I'm cashed out. I want to stay in. But I swear, pushing myself and doing things all the time is part of, like, that lighter energy, you know? It's just a theory. Just a theory, just a theory. Oh, but to make it less of a mystery, I'm 38. I don't know if that's at all what you were thinking. I don't know what's young or old to you. But I am 38. Also, this is interesting. My partner and I have an age gap, and I think initially people thought that because he's older, it would make me older. And there's probably some of that, right? Like, there's some things that at, like, his level in life, I'm sure I adjust to. But I definitely think he is like me in that, like, nobody ever believes his age. He looks younger, he acts younger. Not in an immature way, but just, again, in, like, a lively, energetic way. Probably why we drew to each other, but it's interesting. That's awesome. Yeah, David. So did you start from a small town? Start from a small town and then move to this one? I love city living. Like I said, I've been living in cities for 20 years, and when I think about leaving a city, I actually get a little, like, anxious at the idea. And it's really funny because I know that there are people that get nervous coming to cities. Like, for instance, my in-laws. They are not city people. They get stressed out about the city. They're always afraid they're going to get mugged or something's going to happen. And, like, they're just not city people. Totally okay. I go to the country and I take the dog out at night, and turns out I'm scared of the dark. Turns out the dog is scared of the dark too, because his entire life he's lived in a city and there's always street lights, there's always light pollution. I didn't even realize it until we had the dog, and the first time we went out to the country with the dog and I was taking him out, that I was like, oh yeah, I don't go outside in the pitch black dark anymore, ever. Like, there's coyotes and stuff out here, and if I yell, no one will hear me because it's the country. Whereas here, if I yell, I've got like 30 windows around me. it's just an interesting thought, and I'm like, I wonder, it had to have just been with like exposure and time that changed, you know? Cornfield, New York. Is that actually the name? I love Woodstock. I used to live in New York City. I loved New York. But again, I was in the city. Used to spend a lot of time in Chicago. Used to spend a lot of time in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., L.A. Love Brooklyn. I was going to say I'm kind of surprised there are people out doing lawn work, but again, the weather's only getting worse this weekend, so they're probably thinking like I am, and you've got to do it now. Hence the 50 teen. Okay, so you're 34. So you thought I was younger than you, but also more put together. Thank you. Based off of just this like slight interaction, I love that that's the energy I'm giving off, is put together. Yeah, I usually, people tend to usually think I'm younger than I am in person too. I think it depends on who I'm hanging out with. If I'm with younger people, then I seem younger, or I look younger. I think if I'm with older people, then they know I'm younger because I don't look as much older, but they're closer to the right age, if that makes any sense. Problem is, all of my friends, and I say this in love because they are my favorite people in the world. My friends are stunning, and they all do Botox and fillers and stuff, and they don't overdo it. They've done it well. They look like they're all gorgeous. I do see a difference when I'm next to them, like in pictures and stuff. Like I can tell when we're all smiling in pictures that I'm like, oh, I can see the lines in my face in the way that they don't have. And that's been interesting getting used to. I figured that's what you meant, David. I figured it wasn't actually cornfields. New York. Not that I would be completely surprised to hear of a town named that, but I figured you were making a joke. Man, that's probably so annoying to listen to. I hope it's not. I'm sorry, guys. Not that I have any control, but at least the birds are chirping. I also understand if you cannot handle the sound of the lawn care and need to skedaddle. That's annoying. David, how long have you been in a city? Or like a city person? And do you think you'll stay in the city? Or do you think you'll eventually go somewhere else? Actually, I'd be curious from any of you that are listening that wants to chime in. I love hearing about like the environments everyone is in. Because they can be so different, especially because my group on live is usually such an international audience. But it's so cool to think about where everyone is, what they're doing, what their life looks like compared to what I experience every day. Diamonds? am. I mean, there's definitely times, like I said, where I'm like, oof, man, they look really good. But I do wonder, with the way that things are going in the world, in terms of beauty standards and all of that, I'm really hopeful that as things continue, there's going to be this trajectory that goes back towards, maybe not back towards, maybe it's towards it for the first time, but where lines and unique features are actually sought after, because everyone is starting to look so homogenized, right? Like, you go on other social platforms like Instagram and TikTok, and like a lot of the women are starting to resemble each other because of all of the stuff that they're getting done is similar work. And so they all have perfect lips and high eyebrows and big cheeks and, you know, all of the things, and they look stunning, but they all look really similar. And so I'm hopeful that they'll get bored with that and the unique features become more interesting again, and I'm hoping I can just ride that wave until that happens. I also like do little tricks, right, that like make me feel better as I'm aging. Yeah, I don't know. For instance, I'm one of the people, I always have tinted sunglasses on, a lot. I guess not always, but often. Like, I regularly, inside, outside, day and night, if we're at an event, I probably have some sort of tinted glasses on, because it just makes me feel a little better. Yeah, for sure. I get it. Like, if the economy's better and the winter's not as bad, and you aren't minding city life, I'm a big fan. Big fan. What do I do next? I'm gonna get a little more coffee. What time is it? Oh, perfect. 60 minutes. I'm gonna get some more coffee. I'll be right back. I'm doing good on time though. Okay, so it's been an hour and I just changed my cooling necklace, and it wasn't all the way warm yet. So I could have kept that one on, but to give you an idea of like how long it was lasting, it was starting to wear down. I probably could have gotten like another 15 minutes out of it, but why if I have 3? Just to like give you an idea for anyone who is interested. Oh, hey Tara, welcome back, girl. See, you say that, David. I love that stuff. You're just getting me in the morning, right? Like, I have nails on. I'm a big, no, you're okay, David. No one else is chatting. You're fine. I love lipstick. I'm a big lipstick wearer. I love red lipstick. Always have. And I love makeup as expression. It's just one of those things that as I'm aging, just like learning to be cool with that in a world that is very much not cool with that has been like the experiment, if you will. Okay. What color now? Oh, I was going to do my incense. Yeah, the chat's been quiet, which anyone that's just vibing, if you're not a regular here, I'd love if you liked and subbed. No big deal. I still feel awkward as shit asking for that. But it does make a difference, and I really am trying to make it so that I can do this a lot more often. Whereas like today, I'm gonna have to get off here in a little bit because in addition to editing for my long form stuff, I have client work to do today. Oh, hey Bobby. Thank you. It's so funny to me that when I first got on here this morning, someone said that they get a bad vibe from this live. And I was like, if you get a bad vibe from this live, I think you're the bad vibe, right? Literally, how? Yeah, I mean, everybody's got different preferences on that kind of stuff. I think it's fun. I also love fashion. I'm definitely not one of the subdued people. I wear black in my long form videos because it is easy and I didn't have to think about it for like the telepathy tape series. Not these morning lives or whatever. I wear everything. But in the long form ones, I was like, okay, I'm going to wear black for all 10 episodes so that I don't have to think about it and I'm not worried about what I'm wearing, which is so funny because for years I was a fashion stylist. Like literally I worked in fashion for years in New York City. And so the idea of me like not doing anything fashionable when I'm online, like in multiple ways, live and otherwise, is actually kind of comical in retrospect. Most of my friends don't know that I do this, but they would definitely be surprised by what it is that I'm doing online. Like if they were to guess, they would probably think I was doing fashion stuff. Oh, I'm not telepathic. Are you familiar with my long form stuff, David? Did you just get here? Do you know the podcast, The Telepathy Tapes? That's what my long form content is about right now. I revived my YouTube channel specifically because that podcast sent me into ontological shock. Well, the double slit experiment did that, and then the podcast. And so I decided to do long form videos going into each episode of this podcast about telepathy. And hopefully this weekend I'll have my last one out of this series before I move on to other topics. Oh yeah, no, I'm not telepathic. Sorry. However, that's funny. HB's not here, but I'm usually joking about trying to figure out how to become telepathic with my dog because I really want to. Alright, I need to make a decision on this. For real though, are you familiar with the telepathy tapes, David? Do you know what I'm talking about? The podcast? I'd be really interested, since you are not coming here from that, to know if you are familiar and what you think of it. This is the wrong color. Okay, cool. Well, David, I'm so excited. I love introducing people to this podcast. You might watch it and then decide I'm nuts and not come back, and that's okay too. I want you to know that. If you think it's crazy, that's totally fair. But it's such an incredible podcast, and it really has, honest to God, it's changed my life, obviously. Like, I wasn't doing YouTube before this podcast, so it's really interesting. The 10th episode is actually the one that's coming out this weekend, hopefully, is a recap of the entire season. So while I would love for you to watch all of my long form videos, it's a lot. And if you don't get through it, this next one will be a nice recap, I think, of everything that I've talked about throughout the series. But nothing will replace actually listening to the real podcast. Andy, that's how you found me, right? Are you still hanging out? I feel like most people, well, it used to be that most people were here because they knew my long form content. And lately, just the live has been doing well. So there's been a lot of people here that aren't familiar with my other stuff. I mean, I hope not, man. Report back when you come to a decision of whether or not I am. The whole channel, logically free-spirited, has been a terminology, I guess, that I have been using for years, since 2011, actually. And to me, it very much means being open-minded, as in the free-spirited part. Open-minded to the possibilities, open-minded to change, open-minded to different ways of thinking, open-minded to different perspectives, different opinions, but grounded in logic. Not necessarily in things like materialist science, but in logic, whether that is science or that is common sense or that is just through research. My idea with the channel is to talk about things like science, spirituality, and wellness with that open-minded bend of spirituality, but being very much grounded in the science behind things. Like, I'm very interested in terms of wellness, for instance, like that's all science-based for me. I'm interested in the vagus nerve. I'm interested in the parasympathetic nervous system. You know, those kinds of things. And then on the science side, it's the double slit experiment. And then on the spirituality side, it's human design. Like, I'm interested in all of these things. Oh, great. We can switch about the plants for sure. No, these are decorative, but everything else, this is decorative. Everything else is edible out here, except for these. Not this baby. I have parsley, cilantro, ginger mint, garlic chives, iceberg, 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 sweet basil, Thai basil, cinnamon basil, jalapenos, picantes. What else? I've got a couple different kinds of peppers. I've got Roma tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. What's up there? I didn't do tomatillos this year. I think that's everything. My favorite's the basil. I love basil. I love growing basil. It grows really well. That's the, oh, you can't really see them, can you? They're the giant bushy thing over here on the railings. Basil. My least favorite are tomatoes. I love tomatoes, but I have a horrible time getting the calcium right and avoiding bottom rot. Every year I say I'm not going to do them anymore, and then my husband begs to have more tomatoes. No. Wait, what is it? What is that? Is it a plant? I'm gonna write that down. This has nothing to do with the plant. Are you talking about the galaxies? Where did that come from? Just a change in subject? I am not. That is amazing, but that is the kind of stuff we talk about. Andy probably had to go feed the kitty, but usually we are talking about UAP related items. The last week we've been talking a lot about the Majestic 12 documents and what's going on there. And last week it was a lot of talk about the Tic Tac and the arguments or rumors of whether or not it's Lockheed Martin or if it's actually anomalous. We talk about different whistleblowers and who we trust versus who we don't. It's like a big part of these morning conversations usually. Statue of Liberty is a little green, isn't she? Because I just painted her green on this. I think she was green. Like a pale green, which I don't have, so she's green. I guess I do have a pale green. Oh well. Mandela effects. That's another weird one I like talking about. Yeah, absolutely. No, David, that makes perfect sense how you got there. I'm not familiar with it by that name or anything like that. Green teal, yeah. I will look into more of that. I love all of that stuff. I love looking at anything to do with that stuff. I just wasn't familiar with that word. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But I searched it, and I will definitely check it out. Sorry, my brain is buffering. I can't believe how calm it is for a Friday today. Especially because I got in later. Oh, thank you. Leniakia. Is that how you do it? It's so funny. My scripts, I oftentimes have things written out phonetically. One of which is electroencephalogram. I can't spell that for the life of me, but I have to type it out phonetically every time I have to say it. Immersive heaven. I heard an interesting thing about Hawaiians and Pleiadians the other day, that I think it's got to do with their New Year's tradition, that they have some sort of ancestral story that has to do with coming from the Pleiades. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but I just saw it briefly the other day. And I haven't been able to look into it to see if what I was looking at was BS or if it was true or what it actually meant, but been to Hawaii one time and I wasn't really paying too much attention to UAP at that time, and I kind of wish I was, because I would have definitely spent more time looking just out there away from the light pollution and surrounded by the ocean. What do you think about Neil deGrasse Tyson? Anybody? I mean, David, you're obviously chatty, but anybody that has an opinion. Because Everyone's got differing opinions. I am actually not a Neil deGrasse fan, which is a hot take for some people. I don't have anything particularly wrong with him, but I'm not his biggest fan. I want to put more color down, but I don't know what colors to do still. Until I know this part. Okay. I was literally just thinking about you, Andy. I was like, man, I think he had to jump ship, but I really wanted to know what you thought about him too. Okay, so you think he's a bit full of himself, but there aren't enough astronomers out there to listen to. He's just the one with the voice. And Andy says he's 50-50. Yeah. So, agreed. I'm glad he's out there talking. I think it's good to keep, like, he is part of the movement of scientists that helped bring science talk more into the mainstream, right? Any other astronomers that are thought-provoking? Andy might. We always talk a lot about different podcasts or YouTubers that we watch talking about all of these things and recommend stuff, but I can't think of any particular astronomers. I listen to The Angry Astronaut. I don't know if anybody knows who that is. I can't listen to him that much, but I do listen to him sometimes, and he's pretty interesting. HB, welcome to the party. I got 10 minutes left. But yeah, I get a little over Neil deGrasse. I'm trying to think if there is anyone. The Angry Astronomer is like the only, or The Angry Astronaut, and I don't think he's even an astronomer. Well, I don't know. This has not been nearly as satisfying as I wanted it to be because I haven't been focusing. Okay, Andy, thank you. That's probably why I don't listen to him a lot. I listen to him every now and then, but I don't, like, he's hard to listen to also. Maybe it's the anger. Oh, Anton Petrov. Yeah. Oh, yeah, good one. Brian Cox sounds familiar. I do, yeah, we talk a lot about physics on this channel, and physicists and neurologists, but not as many astronomers. Let's see. I mean, in terms of physicists, like, I love Michio Kaku. I love listening to him talk. I don't love everything he says, but I love listening to him talk. Yes, HB is the precog. Oh, you're not sure what that is. Precognition. Precognition, future prediction, but not prediction isn't the right word. HB experiences precognitive dreams. So he'll have a dream, and then later in life, it will come to fruition. To the extent that he actually works with Dr. Diane Hennessy-Powell, who is a neurologist, a part of the podcast that I was telling you about. That's how HB and I met. she is the neurologist on the Telepathy Tapes podcast I was telling you about. And HB and she work together because she has recognized his precognitive abilities. Thanks. Yeah, I like Michio. Michio's good. I see. Yeah, Brian Cox sounds familiar, but I can't think of him. Is he the one that does like the? He reminds me of like Bill Nye, but not obnoxious, and it's like a YouTuber, right? Is that the same guy, or is that something green? That's green, isn't it? What is his name? Oh, you don't like Michio. Tell me, Andy, why? I'd love to know why. You know, I very much respect your opinion, so I'm so curious, and now I'm actually feeling better. I feel like I could sit out here all day, but I have editing to do. But I can't. I gotta know why Michio is not your fan. Okay, David, we talk about deja vu too, and what deja vu may have to do with precognition, or even things like simulation theory, right? How, if that is true, how does that apply? Things like foundational consciousness. Those are like the topics that I'm really interested in. But Andy, you're killing me. I gotta know. I don't think I've ever heard anyone actively dislike Michio. Okay, Brian's English, so that's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, there's somebody green, Hank Green, that's who I'm thinking of. And I don't know if he's a physicist. I think he's just a scientist. Oh, really, HB? Deja vu is how it starts? I think a lot of people probably have deja vu and that's where it ends though, right? It doesn't evolve. I've had deja vu my entire life, as you know. That's what I'm gonna do. Decision made. Already satisfied with it. Okay. Finally. Boring myself. That's why I don't like DeGrasse, because I feel like he talks shit about things he doesn't know about. Particle physics. Brian sounds like my guy. Okay, Andy, that's fair. I guess I don't listen to Michio enough to have come across things that I felt like he was talking out of the wrong side of his mouth, but I believe you. I think there's something about some of the public-facing scientists that get like that, right? Like Neil deGrasse, and I could see Michio having moments like that for sure. Brian, now, particle physics, I am fascinated with. Anyone who's been here for longer than 10 seconds knows that I'm obsessed with the double slit experiment and the observer effect. And I cannot wait to do a video on it, just so I have an excuse to like just do hours of research. Egomaniac. Hey, HB, yeah, that's what we were talking about, was feelings and Neil. Yeah, Brian? Okay, I'll have to look him up. I'm sure when I see him, I'll recognize him, because that name sounds really familiar. Oh yeah, okay, I'm really happy now that I'm doing this. Alright. However, I get into it right when I'm supposed to get offline, like always. It's Friday, I'll sit here for a second, it's fine. Hey, Saucy Chef. What a name. This guy. You guys, it literally happens every day. If you're a woman on the internet, people think you're trying to date. Not sure why. Literally every day, but only on the internet. Doesn't happen in real life nearly as often. Like a guy came in earlier and he's like, "Are you married?" First and only question he asked me. And as soon as I said yes, he leaves. And it's like, had I said no, because I'm a woman on the internet, does that mean that I'm like looking, or I don't know what difference that would have made. Like, I'm on YouTube, I'm not on a dating site, you know? What? No way. Shut up, HB. I mean, I appreciate that, Chef. It's a big compliment. I don't mean it in any way other than that. You're just asking, and that's fine. It's just funny. Anybody who's here every day sees it every day to some extent. And again, you just asked a question. I'm not harping on you. But yesterday, for instance, there was a guy that just like would not let up, right? And it's just so interesting. But I appreciate that you find me interesting. I think I'm interesting. It's very kind of you. I'm going to let myself do this background color, or at least part of it. That's what I'm here for, HB. Free entertainment. Good conversation. Maybe learning something or teaching each other things. Oh God, that's a cicada. Can you hear that? Where'd you go, buddy? Ooh. If you want to see me freak out, I'm okay with bugs in general. But like, if you've ever had a cicada fly at you or hit you, you will understand why they're so alarming. They're so big and I hate them so much. He's a golden doodle. Yeah, I think they call them groodles in Europe, but yeah, he's a golden doodle. He's 110 pounds, 109 technically. He's the best. I feel like I was gonna say something else before that cicada came up. What was it? I don't remember. HB, you missed the conversation about Hulk Hogan and how, as a child, I legitimately thought my dad was moonlighting as Hulk Hogan. Like, I thought he was Hulk Hogan at night when I went to bed, like Superman. And it took me, like, probably a solid 2 years to decide that wasn't true, but for a long time. Yeah, bug ADHD, for sure. Oh, cute. Hi, Buster. Yeah, the dog is Montgomery, or Monty. He is my everything. He's my boy. I always tell him, you guys love when he's out here, but he's got full free will and free reign of the house, so he doesn't want to be out here. He's not out here. You think you did, HB? Don't say too much because of the chat. But did you really? It wouldn't surprise me. Or do you just assume you did because of everything? Because I would potentially see that too. Depends on how many bikers you've hung around with. June bugs. Interesting. Oh, that would be traumatizing. I was stung on the eyelid by a wasp as a little kid and nearly blinded me, and now I'm terrified of anything that flies and stings. So I understand that. Oh yeah, the John Voight cross. Well, were you there when I said that part? That my dad looked like John Voight meets Hulk Hogan? That's how you know it looks like him? Well, also, HB, you lived closer to where my grandfather used to live. Like, I honestly, like, really close to where my grandfather used to live. And he looked even more like John Voight, so you might have met him. He was the cult one, though. The cult side of the family. For those of you who don't know, my family used to be in a cult before I was born. So I've had a lot of experience with it because my grandparents died in the cult still, and it wasn't one of those ones where you weren't like allowed to interact with other people or like lived on a compound. It was a religious, what do they call it? It's not like just a religious cult. It's like what do you mean I'm messing with you? And you're messing with me. That's what I'm saying. I did say it earlier before you were on that my dad looked like John Voight, and that's why I'm like, I didn't think you were on yet. That's why I'm confused. Anyways, cult. ADHD. I have a lot of experience with it, but I wasn't in it, thankfully. My dad was out of it by the time I was born. But he lived over in that area, and because of the cult, I guess I don't know how much interaction you would have had with him, but he looked just like John Voight, but skinnier. He was a skinny John Voight. Walked with a crazy limp. Oh, Christian Science, that's what it is. Religious healing, faith, oh my God, what is it called? What do they call it? Faith healing cult. That's what it is, a faith healing cult. It's like Christian Science meets Pentecostal in a way. But Grandpa wasn't a biker. Dad was a biker, Grandpa was not, but both look like John Voight. So, you may have met him, HB. Thanks for the update, Tara. Thank you. It would make sense for me to someday do a video about the cult, but I've talked about this before. It's just so hard to track down information on them. I feel like I could work on it for years and like not have much to go off of. My partner, no, actually HB, I kind of love that you said that without knowing. Anyway, yeah, I would love to, like, my partner wants me to do, like, he thinks I should make the documentary about, like, full on go for a documentary about it, but it just, the research into this one is so hard that I don't know. I think it would take me a lifetime. Someone tried from my town years ago to make a documentary on it, and I remember him raising funding for it, and it just never happened. I don't know if he just didn't get the funds or what happened, but the documentary was never made. Honestly, HB, you might have. Yeah, you're right, David. I don't think anyone even typed it. You would have had to have gone back and listened. Unless I mentioned it before. I probably have mentioned it before, but still. It wouldn't surprise me if you met my dad. HB, do you know what, this isn't going to mean anything to anyone else, and it may not even mean anything to HB, but HB, do you know what Fat and Skinny Tire is? Back in your town, our town, my old town? because my dad volunteers with that, and if you go to that, you easily could have seen it. Yeah, that long ago. Oh, okay. So that would have been where you met him. Never mind, HB. That's where you would have met my dad. My dad used to run Hogwaller. Literally run it for several years. My dad once punched a guy from Journey in the face. Wait, was it Journey or Foreigner? Foreigner. Anybody else remember that band? At Hogwaller one year. I think it was at Hogwaller. And then he had to kick him out. Yeah, Hogwaller would make sense then. For anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Hogwaller. So not only did my family grow up in a cult that they're no longer a part of, my dad, my brother, most of my family, well, no, my dad, my brother, my immediate family are bikers, like leather Harley-Davidson bikers. And Hogwaller is a big biker party that happens annually. Although I think it might not happen soon, because my brother took it over for a year and hated it and said he wasn't going to do it again. And last I heard, I don't know if this was last summer or 2 summers ago, but no one was stepping up to take the party over. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, because both my dad and my brother retired from being responsible for that event. And again, I don't live there. I haven't lived there in 20 years, so I don't think I'm saying anything that's too personal. But it's such an interesting world. I can't believe you went to that HB. I've never even gone to that. As my dad leading that fucking thing, I've never gone. I mean, maybe that's why I didn't go. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with my dad either. I was definitely always that kid that was like, my dad can be up your dad, and I meant it. Waller some hogs. That's funny. I know, I have lived a very interesting life. I mean, my name is Sundown. Like, government name is Sundown. So you know my parents are wild, right? Like, you know my parents are weird if they named their daughter Sundown in the 80s in middle America. At the time. Wild. Yeah, my dad really didn't give any of us a chance to be boring. Just Dave. No, that's okay, Dave. Nothing wrong with that. Also, probably change it if you wanted to. You're only 34. Plenty of time to still get into some trouble. To be fair, all of those interesting things I just said happened to me. I can't take credit for them, right? I didn't name myself. I didn't join the cult. But it is part of my lore. It's probably why you think I seem mature. Just because I've, like, lived some shit. You know? I'm feeling much better now that I'm getting the background of this done. HB, yeah. It's hard for me to believe I'm his daughter sometimes, but also not really. My dad and I are so funny. We're so different in so many ways, right? We're so different politically, we're different socially. Um, we have difference in opinions and beliefs on so many things. But then I look at who I am as just like kind of a rebel child, and the life that I live, like the unconventional experiences I've been so lucky to have. And I'm very much like, yeah, that makes sense that I'm his daughter now. Like, I'm like, okay, I didn't join a biker gang and I didn't join a cult, but I have been on stage with rock stars. I have been to cool places. I have had amazing experiences, and I truly think that my dad giving me an interesting name helped open those doors. And yet at the same time, like there's times when I use my fake name, which is Sarah, when I like don't feel like dealing with my name. For whatever reason, like I just don't want to talk about it at the time. It started in college, meeting people. Like if I met someone at a bar and I wasn't interested, I'd tell them my name was Sarah, because when I was in college, Facebook was just coming out and anybody could find me right away. So like if I was at a bar and I met somebody but I wasn't interested, but I said my real name, the next morning I'd wake up with a friend request. And at the time when Facebook was new, you felt like such a dick if you didn't say yes. And so I quickly realized that like if I didn't want everybody that ever spoke to me to try and find me on Facebook, I'd have to start giving them a fake name if I didn't want to. And so it turned into this whole thing in college where my girlfriends knew that if they heard me introduce myself as Sundown to someone, that I wasn't interested, and to like get me out of the situation. And now I still use Sarah mostly just for time. Like it's like when I just don't have time to talk about it. Or I just, yeah, don't feel like it. Reservations, I never use my real name. Coffee orders, anything like that. Laser Beam Fever Dream, I like that one. Not Planet Destroyer, that one's sad. I like Laser Beam Fever Dream. It's kind of got a ring to it. I really did not mean to stay out here this long. I almost didn't even get on this morning. This happens all the time where I say, I'm not going to get on, and then I decide to get on, and it ends up being a really lovely morning. HB, you did miss me say this earlier, but where I am, the humidity this weekend is supposed to be like stupid. So I don't know if I can be on, like if I can survive it and not feel like I'm going to pass out, I will be. But if not, there's a chance I may not be on until this weather balances out a little. I don't want to move inside on like rainy days until winter comes. Like I'm going to wait until I fully move inside for the season, I think, before I figure that out. Oh, this is cute. Okay, I'm so glad I did the background. I'll show you guys. I really should like stop doing half pages though and like finish some stuff. Because I'm letting my ADHD rule my decision making here. Yeah, I know it's later start because of that. It was my turn with the dog this morning, so I took him out, and when I came back in, I was like, I don't know if I can sit out in this heat. And so I actually sat out here for a few minutes, just like by myself, kind of meditating to see if I thought I could tolerate it. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. After also checking the weather and seeing that like it was only going to get worse, and I was like, if I don't do it today, I may not do it for several days, and I don't want that. So glad that I made it work. But I did start later because of that, because I was hesitant. I was like, I don't know if I can actually do this. And by the time I decided I could, it was a little later. What time is it? All right, I'm not leaving yet. Laser Beam Fever Dream, Children's Children will be Laser Beam Fever Dream the 3rd. I love it. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I knew how long I'd been on, but I did not realize what time it actually was. Good thing it's Friday. I'm gonna finish this background. I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna go, because like I said, I have client work to do today, and I have editing to do. Dog action. That's awesome, David. I'm so glad you came by. Thanks for hanging out and for the conversation, truly. Check out that podcast, the telepathy tapes, and come back and let us know what you think. And yeah, HB, that's what we were talking about, was like some of his antics. Almost done. Sorry, Lauren just want the color here. Thanks, HB. Giving everyone a break. Yeah, it's been kind of calm today, but I'm okay with that. I expected it to be busy because it was Friday, and because I got on late. It seems to be that when I get on later, somehow there's more people, but it's been a calm morning, and I'm okay with that. However, in general, things seem to have picked up, like compared to just a couple weeks ago. HB, I did tell Andy I got a lot of editing done yesterday, and I'm really excited. And I'm really doing everything I can to get this video done. I can't believe how much longer it's taking me than the past ones. Like, it's a longer video, but I really am doing more B-roll than I ever have, and underestimated how much time that was going to take. It'll be really cool someday to get to the point where I can outsource editing. It's one of those things, I actually enjoy editing. I really do. But it takes so long that I don't have, like, I just reasonably, I can't do that forever. I'm going to have to outsource it at some point. It's funny because typically I would outsource to me, like that's what I do. I've edited for people before. So it's like, I guess if someone's paying me, since I'm not actually making money off of this yet, like not really. I think I make 9 cents every live. Oh, it's okay, HB. You're welcome here though. That's why sometimes I just explain your intentions sometimes, because if they don't know you, I think it can be misconstrued. Okay, I'm so close. So close to done with the background. Actually, that's a good question. Yeah, misunderstood. That's a good way of putting it. Sounds of Gotham. Very tail end. We're getting there, we're getting there. Can't believe how much time I've just spent on here. What even is that? Lou, Lou, quit. Got nothing to bark at, girl. Okay. A little bit, very end. All right. Hi, Al. Yes, it will be ready soon, HB. Oh, I know, HB. I'm just catching up now. Let me get through this deep dive, and I'm going to get back to your book. I really did get so much done yesterday. It's just such a big one, man. Here's a section. All right. I got to stop. Al, I'm so sorry, I'm going. I've been on here for 2 hours. I can't believe it, but look at my pretty picture. So, just started. She's cute. All right, kids, I'm gonna go edit, and I got some client work, but thanks for hanging out. If I can tolerate the heat for the next 2 days, I'll be back. But if not, then you'll see my deep dive soon, I promise. All right, everybody have a good Friday. Bye.